Today on Down to the Wire, Final Four. The Champions League semifinals are set to begin, with title contenders from Spain, Germany, and England set to face off. Who are the favorites to go through? Find out next on Down to the Wire. Today is April 17th, 2014. I'm Andrés Franken, this is Shawn de Silva, and this is episode 14 of Down to the Wire. And today we finally get back to soccer, and we're talking Champions League. Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, Real Madrid, and Bayern. Two huge matchups, and let's start with Atletico and Chelsea. What are the keys here? How do the teams play? And who are the players that are going to need to play big for their respective teams to go through?
It's going to be a very intriguing matchup, as will the other semifinal. But Atletico Madrid and Chelsea, I'm not so sure of how this is going to play out. And I would really like to see Chelsea go through on this one, but Atletico Madrid has been a really different team compared to the last couple of years. And it's incredible that how much they've changed and how much their style of play has changed. Hazard is injured, and it's not likely that he might not be back for the first leg of the Champions League semifinal with Atletico. So if Hazard's out, I see a huge advantage to Atletico, because Chelsea plays better with Hazard in lineup.
So much depends on Hazard, it seems. We've seen so many times this season, when Hazard doesn't play well or he's out, Chelsea's just not the same team. But Chelsea's still a solid team nevertheless. Mm-hmm. And it is going to be very interesting because Atletico has been on a roll lately. They knocked out Barca out of the quarterfinals, and they also beat them in the league, and we'll see how it goes. Last game of the season is going to be huge to decide the title in Spain. But in the Champions League itself, they've been really strong as well. They've been playing really well both on the defensive end and the offensive end. That's how they knocked out Barcelona. They were compact, they didn't let them through, they frustrated Barcelona, and then they were great on the counterattack. Now it's going to be interesting against Chelsea because Chelsea has a much more solid defense than Barcelona did, and Chelsea has more of a defensive style as well. So again, it is going to come down to some of the key players. Hazard, we don't know if he's going to play. If he plays, he's going to have to be great. That's when Chelsea scores the most goals, when he's at his best. And then also Diego Costa, a huge player for Atletico. We don't know if he's going to be back for the matchup. He had that injury in one of the league games playing in Spain. It looked kind of serious at the beginning. Now they're saying that he's probably going to be back. Costa has been huge. He's got 7 goals in the competition. As opposed to Hazard's only 2 goals, but definitely the 2 biggest players. Another interesting story in this matchup, Courtois. This is really interesting because he's on loan from Chelsea, and there was a clause in his contract on loan that if these two teams ended up facing each other, Madrid would have to pay 5 million euros per game for Courtois to face off against Chelsea. And this puts Courtois in a very difficult spot. He's been great for Madrid all season. He's officially a Chelsea player, but now there's tension. We don't know what's going to happen if he's going to play yet. There's no final decision, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out as well.
Aside from Hazard and Costa, if they aren't back, who do you think is going to have the biggest impact in that game for both teams? Who do you think is going to have to step up if both those players aren't in the lineup?
I think Atletico Madrid has the upper hand with the momentum that they have. So for me, the biggest players to step up are going to be in the Chelsea midfield. Players like Oscar and Sherrill, those are going to be the guys that are going to need to make the plays and score some goals in order to go through.
Moving on, Real Madrid versus Bayern in the other semifinal. This, again, a very intense matchup. It's 2 great teams going head-to-head. Who do you think's got this, and who do you think's going to be the impact players in this game?
I think Madrid has actually got the upper hand right now. Bayern has been amazing all season. I think they were one of the favorites from the beginning. They still have a very, very good shot. They've been playing great football, but not as well as they were at the beginning of the season. Lately, they've been a little bit more sloppy. Madrid has been playing much like Atletico. They've been great on defense, and they've been capitalizing on fast breaks, just like they did against Barcelona yesterday. So it's going to be interesting to see them go against Bayern. Bayern being coached, of course, by Pep Guardiola. Guardiola bringing a similar style of football that he had in Barcelona over to Bayern. So there's a lot of passing, and Real Madrid can exploit some of the weaknesses that Bayern has in defense. The holes at the back for Bayern are not nearly as bad as they are for Barcelona, but nevertheless they can exploit guys like Dante. Boateng is much more solid, but Dante on the ground, if they can isolate him, then that's going to be a huge problem for them.
For sure, but the big question for Madrid, will Ronaldo be ready next week? He sat out last game yesterday against Barcelona, but clearly Madrid was not fazed by that. Bale stepping up to the plate and scoring a huge goal against Barcelona. If Bale can prove that he is as valuable as he's proven all season, he's been there when Madrid needs him, and Madrid really needs him now if Ronaldo is a no-go. But reports are telling me Ronaldo is getting closer to returning, so hopefully that is the case. And if Bale and Ronaldo are in against Bayern, I don't see Bayern standing much of a chance, because something's got to give. And like you said, Dante not that strong on defense, and Ronaldo and Bale will definitely be able to exploit that. Di Maria playing fantastic this season. So you got a really strong Madrid attack against a somewhat weak, but not that weak, but a weak Bayern defense nonetheless. Madrid's defense is sometimes shaky as well, so Bayern might be able to exploit that with their passing that's been incredible all season, so this will be a good matchup as well.
I think it will ultimately come down to who can hold out the longest, who can score that first goal. And like you said, Bale has been great. Finally, quieting the criticism for not scoring in big matches, although that was kind of unfair because he hasn't been at Madrid for that long. But yeah, Di Maria also having an amazing season. They've also got Benzema. All those guys, the way that Bayern has been playing their defense lately, if they can get in behind those fast breaks, that's when they can capitalize and they can score the big goals. They got the first game at Madrid, so that's going to be huge for them. If they can get a big enough lead in that first game, I think it'll be enough to hold it out for the second game. Let's just summarize. Who do you think are the two teams from each side that are going to go through? Who's going to be in this year's Champions League final?
Well, like we said, in the first matchup, Atletico versus Chelsea, I would say if Hazard is in and fit, I would see Chelsea going through. If he's not, Madrid. But if I were to pick two teams, I'd say Real Madrid versus Chelsea finals.
I'm going for an all-Spanish final. I think Atletico, with Hazard or not, in the matchup, I think they've got enough momentum. They're playing great football under Simeone. I think they can go all the way through. And I think Madrid has the upper hand on Bayern right now. So I see those two teams meeting in the final.
Right, so that's it for today's episode. We'll be back next week. Another thing we should mention, now that we're officially done school, we will have more free time. So we might be changing our days, right?
Yeah, we haven't decided yet. Maybe Monday
or Wednesdays. So Monday or Wednesdays from now on, not Fridays, every week. So yep, we'll be back next week with hockey and talking playoffs. And if you haven't checked out our NHL playoff brackets, be sure to check it out on Facebook. And if you haven't checked it, if you don't have Facebook and you're not following us on Facebook, we will post it right at the end of this video.
And as always, remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And we'll see you next week.